I'm going to talk a little bit about the Templar Order in Thetis today, specifically going over how they're organized, their ranking system, their history, heraldry, what they stand for, and other bits of lore. I will try to keep this video free of major spoilers, but I'd mark any major spoilers with a relevant flair. Let me know in the comments if I missed anything. If you'd like to hear more about a particular subject, let me know in the comments. As always, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you to my patrons. Your support helps ensure that we get to make more videos and keeps us independent. Let's get started. First, a quick recap of the Templar Order and what they stand for. The Templar Order, also called the Order of the Dragon, or more commonly simply Templars, is the military order of the Orlesian Chantry that hunts abominations, apostates, and maleficar, and watches over the mages of the Circle of Magi. Templars are officially deemed a force of defenders by the Chantry. Their advocates claim they are saviors, holy warriors, protectors of the innocent, and champions of all that is good. Others see them as symbols of the Chantry's control over magic, with a religious fervor that inspires absolute devotion to their mandate rather than moral principles. Their roles are to protect the communities of the faithful from magical threats, protect mages from the populace, and subdue any who refuse to submit to the authority of the Circle. Most people don't remember the Templar Order as it once was. In the days when the Chantry was still young, Templars were known as the Inquisition and combed the land in search of all dangers to humanity, whether they came in the form of blood mages, abominations, cultists, or heretics. It was a dark and terrifying time in the history of Thetis, and one that only ended when the Chantry convinced the Inquisition to unite under the banner of their common faith. This agreement, the Navaran Accord, was struck in 120 Divine. The Inquisition was then divided in two groups, the Seekers of Truth and the Templar Order, with the purpose of the order becoming that of guardian and warden rather than hunter. Templars are considered by the common folk to be the saviors and holy warriors of Thetis, protecting the world from the dangers of magic unchecked. As the Chantry's military arm, they are recruited primarily for their martial skill and religious dedication to the Maker. Given the difficult choices Templars must make in the course of their duty, they must be unswervingly loyal to the Order and maintain an emotional distance from the plight of their charges. It is said that a Templar's obedience is more important to the Chantry than his or her moral center. Templars are often recruited as children or teenagers. The recruitment and training is rigorous, sometimes occurring in monastic refuges segregated from everyday society. While the majority of their members are male, some female Templars do exist, having chosen to serve the Maker as a defender of the faith rather than a spiritual guide for the community. Camping Templars take vows upon knighthood, but these do not include vows of chastity, although some elect to take those as well. Templars are nevertheless discouraged from marrying or raising children since it is impractical to live apart from one's dependents. Such unions are occasionally permitted, provided that the Templar's spouse has his or her own means of support, for example, owning land or a title. The recruits require years of education and discipline to use their Templar abilities. Once they've become proficient in their Templar skills, the recruits then learn sword training and religious doctrine. Prior to taking their vows, Templar recruits undergo a vigil. After the vigil, the knight's life is changed. The Templar is given a philter, their first draft of lyrium, and its power. The Templar Order dictates that Templars are not to seek wealth or acknowledgement. Their lives belong to the Maker and the path they have chosen. Non-human recruits such as elves and dwarves are not barred from joining the Templars, but are not common in their ranks. Templars are sworn to protect the world from the dangers of magic, but they also protect mages from the outside world. A world that fears these magic users for very good reasons. Outside the circles, Templars are responsible for hunting maleficarum, apostates, abominations, and demons. In addition, Templars are responsible for seeking out mages newly come into their power to bring them into the circle. Inevitably, the Order must also pursue mages who escape the circle, but typically can track the fugitives using a phylactery of blood from their quarry. Within the circles, it is the Templars' place to watch their charges for signs of weakness or corruption, and, should they find it, to act without hesitation for the good of all. One of the Order's most important duties occurs during a mage's harrowing. During this ritual, a Templar watches over the body of the mage, ready to kill them if demonic possession occurs. In the extreme event that an entire circle of mages becomes corrupted, Templars can request the right of annulment from a Grand Cleric, which authorizes them to purge all of the mages in that circle. This is meant to be used in the event that a circle has been judged irredeemable. 2. The considerable power the Order holds over mages occasionally leads to charges of tyranny and abuse, since the balance between protection and oppression of the mages is precarious. Nevertheless, according to the Chantry, this is the price that must be paid for the security the Templars offer. Templar hierarchy roughly goes as follows. Knight Vigilant, the leader of the Order who rules from the White Spire in Val Royo Knight Divine, a division of Templars who serve the Divine directly and manage the day-to-day operations of the Templar Order Knight Commander, leader of a main branch such as a Circle of Magi Knight Captain, second in command to Knight Commanders, with the ability to relieve them of command if they overstep their bounds, Knight Lieutenant Knight Corporal Knight Templar, more commonly referred to as Templar, base title for those who have taken their vows, Templar Recruit, a new initiate into the Order. The Order is composed of numerous branches, each of them centered around a specific community or region they are assigned to defend and monitor. Templars may be assigned to the Circles of Magi, but also to individual chantries. Each main branch of the organization is led by a Knight Commander. In Thetis, there are at least 15 Knight Commanders, who in turn answer to the local head of the chantry, generally a Grand Cleric. The size and strength of each branch also differs, depending on the community they serve or their specific mandate. For example, the Templars present in Lothering are few in number, and may in fact be a smaller unit within a larger chapter. Meanwhile, the Order in Kinloch Hold and Kirkwall is much more powerful, and in the case of Kirkwall, perhaps more powerful even than the civilian government in the city. The Order itself is ruled from the White Spire in Val Royo by a Knight Vigilant. However, there are other sources that suggest that the Order is actually led by a series of Knights Divine, a division within the Order who serve directly underneath the Divine herself and act as her enforcers and bodyguards, for example in the role of right hand of the Divine. Papron. In addition to making the rules, these knights oversee day-to-day operations. Above the Templar Order, but separate, are the Seekers of Truth who serve as watchers of the Watchmen, providing accountability for the Templars. The Templar heraldry is a stylized representation of a flaming sword. The flames represent purification, just as Andraste was purified by flame upon her martyrdom at the height of the First Exalted March. And that's everything I want to go over for now regarding the Templar Order. If you'd like to hear more about the Seekers of Truth, let me know in the comments. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you to my patrons. If you'd like to support the channel, please consider supporting us. Please like, share, and subscribe. All links are in the description.